We've mentioned 7P10E a lot.
Yeah.
You said the origin was Israel?
Well,
because you were abroad and you met a boy or something like that?
No, it was more that I was going to be abroad and I didn't want to slip out of practice.
Oh.
I didn't want to stop being creative. So I was like, oh, this is something I could do. I could film while I'm there.
Yeah.
And we could record our screens, which when we did ultimately make it, it's in the same house.
Right.
And we still had so many problems with the Skype and the internet.
Oh, really?
So if I had actually done it in Israel, it would have been a nightmare. But that was like kind of where it came from, was like, what can I do while I'm removed from Los Angeles to keep me...
So did you write like the skeleton of it?
Yeah.
You pretty much had all the beats down and then you guys just went for it.
Exactly.
So obviously now that was made into a pilot, yeah? Mm-hmm. Did it get picked up or no?
Mm-mm.
Were you involved in the pilot process at all? Did you expect that to come when you made the web series?
No, not at all. I thought, if anything, I remember talking about it with the other people that worked on it, and we were saying maybe if it did really well, it could end up inspiring like a reality TV project or something, which I have no interest in reality TV,
right.
But being a producer on something like that and just getting passive income would be cool.
Right.
And it does seem like it would be
I've been talking about passive income so much lately.
Really?
I want some of that sweet passing.
That's what the CBS deal would have been for me, which would have been awesome. I wouldn't have been super involved, but I would have been...
So they did give you like a story by credit or something?
Based on the series created by.
Oh, cool.
And then I had like a supervising producer.
That's super cool.
And what would have been very cool too is at the end of every episode, if it had gone to series, it would say based on the series 7P10E created by Avital Ash, which then would have gotten us new viewers too.
That's super cool.
But
so what's that called like? Yeah, but still, they made a pilot. That's still cool.
Twice they made a pilot.
They did twice?
2 years in a row, but both times it didn't go.
It was a different pilot. Wow.
Yeah.
What was that first call like?
The first call?
Where they're like, hey, kid, we want to make you a pilot. Or did they not call you?
No, I feel like this might be really boring, but coming back to
you keep saying that, but all this has been delightful.
Okay, great. I had started working with WME, which was like major for me, right? Because I like couldn't get an agent, and then they're like a big agency.
Yeah, you got that from the web series? Mm-hmm. Wow.
That's the thing. That's what's interesting about this industry is that it wasn't.
Not with them anymore.
I'm not.
Oh, jeez.
But it wasn't. And this is where I'm like, I don't know how interesting this is. This is a lot of like the nitty-gritty nuts and bolts.
That's what's interesting.
What I learned the hard way is just because WME wants to work with you doesn't mean, this is going to sound so pessimistic, and I hope none of them listen, but like none of them.
Literally nobody listens to this.
Okay,
it's just
great.
me.
It's just us.
This is just me for trying to get intel on how to survive out here.
Yeah, I mean, please take this then, because I wish I had known. Not that you need to walk into everything being super skeptical, but like they weren't going like, oh, what a talent this Avital Ash is, and let's get in business with her. They, for whatever reason, were going, oh, this is a cool property.
That's what, yeah.
Let's service our bigger clients with this. Let's find other people that want to make their show, and we can just take her IP, which I think is very short-sighted, because if I made this thing and you like it...
What else are you capable of?
Exactly. Why can't you... like see, oh, she did this thing for $60. Imagine with a real budget. Imagine with like access to something, because we didn't even use cameras or sound gear. We just use our laptops.
Yep. I remember Chris saying that. That's crazy.
Yeah. So like, why then wouldn't you invest in me? But that's not what was happening. And so I did end up meeting a lot of great people through them. They set up some great meetings, and then. It's so complicated to even get into, but they had like two different deals sort of set up. One where somehow they told them like I wouldn't be writing at all and I wouldn't be involved at all. Ugh. And then the other one where it was like I insist on writing by myself, because standard is they'll pair you with a showrunner who's more advanced. Right. And so for some reason it was these two deals on opposite ends of the spectrum. We got an offer from Warner's through Jennifer Garner's company, and an agent who I will not name left town and literally sat on the contract for a month. Oh. So by the time she sent it to my attorneys, she was like, hurry up, you have to send this back. And they were complaining to me, we just got this yesterday, but it's dated from a month ago.
Right. Oh.
And by the time they turned it around, Warner's pulled their offer.
Oh. So that would have been a different one completely?
Yes.
Where you were more involved?
Like a year. No, I wouldn't have necessarily.
Okay.
It's all like sort of nebulous.
Jeez.
But this was like 2 years prior.
Right.
A year and a half to 2 years before an actual pilot happened.
Wow.
So that was one thing. And then suddenly nobody is returning my calls at WME, and nobody's calling me anymore. And they never like officially dropped me, and I never officially fired them. We just like didn't talk anymore, and it was very weird.
They ghosted you.
Yeah.
What assholes?
Basically, they ghosted me, and then I got a call, like I said, like a year and a half later, from one of them saying, "Hey, CBS wants to license your pilot. Would you be interested in that?" And I was like, "Yeah."
I'll take the passive income.
But I had such low expectations because I'd like heard
Well,
it
of course.
before. I was
But
like,
let me ask you this. In retrospect, you had an agent at the time, right?
Yeah.
And then when WME comes in and is like, "Hey,
oh no,
kid,"
I didn't really then.
Oh, you
I had
were-
a manager.
the manager couldn't have handled it themselves, or
Nobody-
he wasn't big enough to get you in the rooms.
I don't know if he wasn't big enough or didn't work hard enough or didn't know the right people, but but good representation is hard to come by.
Yeah.
I'd been with people that just hadn't done anything.
Right.
Yeah, so I was surprised when they came in and they did do stuff. They
Right.
set
So they were
meetings.
and they were the one that showed interest. So
Yeah.
interesting.
I mean,
That's so
even
weird.
now, and I have better reps. Like, I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but like I've specifically been like, I really want to meet with this person, and had my manager be like, they're too busy. And then a year later, I run into that person, meet them on my own, and I'm like, hey, she said I should come in for a meeting, and he's like, oh, great idea, and they set it up, and it's like, well,
Yeah.
you didn't think it was a great idea a year ago.
Yeah.